Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Lydia with Raindrop Lila, and today I have some new journal maker kits I'm bringing to my Etsy shop, and I wanted to show you guys what I have available. I'm going to open them up so you guys can see what is included. I have 3 different textile kits, and these 2 are the premiums, and these have the handmade, hand embroidered ruffles. And then this is a standard kit. I also have a tin, and I also have this is some of my hand dyed papers. I have coffee dyed papers. I have avocado dyed papers. And I also have some vintage paper kits that I will open so you guys can see what is included. They have a woodland theme, and they also will be great for a gratitude journal. So that's kind of like an overview of what I'm going to be sharing. I also have these 2 journals which I've been working on. These are just going to be kind of a sneak peek because what I did was I used some of these type of textiles to make this kit. And also, I use some of these papers for my journals too. So I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of these, but I will do a flip through separately for this one. And this one is just not done yet. So this is just a sneak peek, but I'm hoping to finish it soon. This has a lot of slow stitching. So I've been doing a lot of sewing lately, and they just kind of took longer than I expected. These have a lot of embroidered ruffles, so they actually took me a little bit longer than I expected. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get started. Oh, and I was also going to mention that at the end, if you want to comment below, I'm going to do a giveaway for one of these little DIY journal maker kits. And I actually have a craft with me, how to make a journal using these, and I have a journal that I made using one of these kits, and I have a flip through for it. I will link them below so that you guys can go ahead and check them out. But this is basically a little vintage journal maker kit, and everything's cut, and you can put it together and have it ready for you to work in. We are going to go ahead and get started with this one. So this is my quilted Marigold kit. And I only have 3 of these available. And I just love these colors. Aren't they just so pretty? So basically, this is the kit that I used to make this journal. That's what this quilted cover is. And then I used some of the fabrics for the cover. And it actually ended up being pretty thick. So if you don't want to have a really thick journal, you might want to measure ahead of time before you start stitching everything. Because I started doing all the slow stitching on it. And then I measured it. And then I realized that it has to be a fairly thick journal. Otherwise, I would have had to take it apart. So I just went with it. And so this is going to be a super, super thick one. Anyway, so this is the kit, and I am really loving these colors. The woodland theme is what really inspired this collection, and I am loving these, like the mustard colors and the burgundies and the greens. I think they are so, so pretty. It comes with all these neutrals because I feel like you really need neutrals to kind of help them stand out, if that makes sense. So this is what you're getting, and it's such a huge, huge kit. Okay, so basically I have these. I just love these colors. I love the way they came out. I hand embroidered the tiny little roses on here, and how pretty is that orange? I never really realized that I love these colors so much, especially together. Okay, so we have those 3 ruffles. I also have these 3 ruffles, and these are smaller. And I like to use them all kind of scattered throughout my journal pages. And I'm going to show you guys how they look here. because I use some of them. Let's see. Okay, this one's a little bit different, but I basically stitch it and then I just glue it down to the edge. And then this one's a little bit different also. I have the hand embroidered hearts on that one. And I'm still working on it, so I'll be adding some more. Here's another one. And I was also going to say that I have a lot of printables that just work really beautifully with this collection. So basically, if you want to be able to just sit down and start creating and not worry about deciding which kits to use, this is a great way to just save some time, because you can pick up the kit, and then I also have the vintage paper kits that work really well with it. But then I also have the printables. So I have printables, like I have pictures, I have background papers, and I will link them below so that you know the colors or the collections that work really, really well with this kit. I have a collection called the TJ collection. I have fall printables. I also have Olivia Grace. This is not done, so that's just right there. I have this one, I think, is my Charlotte collection. This is my Cornelia's Garden, and this is probably one of my latest ones that I created. That's Olivia Grace, and you see how beautifully it works. The printables work even with like the book pages that I have. Here's one of the ruffles that I use. I just love this color. It's just so, so pretty. Okay, I have William Morris collection of printables that work really great with this. This is, I think this is Olivia Grace. I have so many. Oh my gosh, I forget the names. I have some photos printables that I use also. I'm trying to think what else. I have, this one is my, I will link them below because I forget what they are called, but I just love the way they work together with this collection. So that's the great thing about my kits. I love to mix and match them with printables, and you will see how I used. Once I do a flip through of this, if you want some more inspiration, you'll be able to kind of see how I use the fabrics and how well they work with the kits. And this is another journal that I made using a lot of the same colors and then like bits of fabric from the collection. So there's a lot of different ways to use fabric. Even if you use like a hardcover journal, you can still include ruffles and fabrics in your journal. So this is, if you're looking for inspiration, I'll have a flip through of this one coming soon too. Okay, let's move on. I have a textile kit here, and I have this pretty, it's like a sheer chiffon with the butterflies, and I love this because I am in Texas, and we see butterflies everywhere. They're like migrating. So I had to include that, especially since the colors work so well. Okay, there's a bit of cream fabric because it's great to kind of layer with the butterflies so that you don't just see through it. I mean, that's not bad, but I liked the way it looked with the cream fabric. It adds like a little bit of separation. Then I have this piece. This is a vintage piece. It was actually from a doll's dress, I guess. So I thought that was really pretty. It's actually really strong fabric. I could not tear it very well. Anyways, and then I have this piece too. So there's so many little pieces everywhere. Okay, and then I have this burgundy piece too. And isn't that pretty? You can definitely take this apart and use it, but I have one in here, which I just attached with a piece of, with a paper clip. And I just think it looks so pretty. And you know what? You can actually glue down like little sentiments or like little journaling pages, like right on the fabric. I think that is a really cute idea. Okay, so I have this piece. I have the ruffles. I showed you guys that. I have this piece. I showed it on Instagram, I made quite a few of these. Aren't these just so cute? I actually used a bit of this green fabric, and then I used this piece, and then I sewed the little flower on there, and I just love the way it looks. I actually have, again, I just added it in my journal because I thought it was so cute. I had to include it. And here too, here it is. And so I just clipped it on the edge. And now this page, you can just journal right here, right? Or you can collage right there, and you have like this pretty little flower just kind of hanging out right there. I think it's so cute. Okay, so I have this. I have this tag also. And again, I love the mix of fabrics. I love those colors. And again, I have one, I think in this one again, just so you kind of get an idea how to use it. There's some lace, how I used it in this journal. I am actually working on using more fabrics in my journals. I already use a lot of fabrics, but I'm always looking for different ways to include it in my journals because I think it adds such a nice tactile experience to a journal. There it is. It's a little bit different. This is longer. But again, I just added it on here. And this is a great way to also, if you have a page where you're journaling, you can just cover up your journaling with this. So you have a little bit of privacy if you use your journal as a diary. And it adds a lot of texture and it makes it just look really pretty. So that's that. You can also take it apart and make different things with it. Then I have these. Aren't these just so cute? So you can use these. Like I have the green thread for the flowers. I just sew the stems on there, right? But you can also attach these in your journal or glue them like on the edge of a page, right? You can just attach them on a corner if you wanted to. So they could be really decorative or you can use them. So either way, I use these for both. I use them for my kits to add the string that matches. So if you want to do sewing, but then I also use these in my journals as a decorative piece. I just think they're really pretty. Okay, so then I have the flowers and I just pinned them on there. See that? And basically what you can do is just sew them on the cover, and it's just so pretty and a simple way to add some interest to your cover. Okay, I'm going to take them off. So here's the flower. And I just love the colors. I think they're so, so pretty. I'm going to take them off so you can see the ruffle underneath. I have these two ruffles. Again, these could be used on the edge of the journal page. You can use them on the cover. You can use them in so many different ways. You can use them on the side or on the inside. You can even use them like for a pocket, right? Because it's already ruffled. So you can have the fabric underneath and then add this on top as to kind of decorate it. I think it's so, so cute. So I have this green piece, and then I have this marigold, or kind of like a mustard yellow color. Okay, so I have these two pieces. Aren't they just so pretty? I just love them. I think they're perfect. And then I have this piece. I want to take it apart so you can see everything that's included. And I do use pins and paper clips to hold everything down. So please be careful when you take them apart. And then I have this piece of vintage. I don't know, it's like a ribbon. That's great to use also. Okay, so I have this on the bottom just to make it pretty. I have this piece, and usually I try to make sure they're about 12 by 12 inches. So that's approximately how big it is. It's a little bit bigger, but this is 12 by 12. Let me show you guys this piece. This is the piece that was my inspiration piece. This is what I started with, right? So that's the cover of that journal. You can see that. And it is approximately 9.5, almost 10 inches by about 13.5 inches. It's got this quilted design on the cover, right? Which I absolutely love. And then I also included one of these pieces of batting, and that's what I used on here, right? I would suggest, if you make a journal, to start with the inside and work on your pages to see how big they are, because once you figure out the size of your pages, you're going to want to bring it in and kind of figure out what size journal you want. So if it's going to be really thick like this one, you're going to want to leave it. But if it's smaller, you might want to either sew it or cut part of it off. I don't know, it depends. Let's see. I have one of these here. My Yellow Roses collection will look really pretty in here too. Okay, so basically, this is what I do. I would just bring in my signatures and see where they're at, because if this is your journal and you only have a few pages, you don't want it to overlap too much, right? You might want to trim maybe about 1/2 inch off. So this is about 1 inch bigger. So I'd probably trim 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch off so that your journal cover is about there. But it all depends on how thick your journal is. So if you have extra pages and it fills up, you might not need to cut any of it off. Okay? So that's just kind of a tip. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so there's the cover. I just love this so much. I'm in love with this whole look. I think it's so, so pretty. Anyways, I love these last 2 journals that I made so much. I'm really loving these colors. Okay, so this is what I used for the spine. So what I did, since I knew this journal would be so, so thick, I used this piece right here. This is like a felt piece, and this piece. And so I trimmed this piece down, and I sewed it. I first slow stitched the felt to this piece, right? And once I was done, I trimmed off the excess of the felt, and then I sewed in my signatures to this, because I felt like, since it's so thick, I mean, I have 7 signatures in here. I really filled them up, and I have pieces like this that are like heavier, and so I wanted to give it more stability. So by using like a thicker fabric and using this felt piece, it kind of helped thicken the spine. I hope that makes sense. And so then this is it. You can kind of see it, how I slow stitched it. Once I sewed the signatures into this piece, I then stitched it. I didn't finish. I still need to finish this part. But I then stitched it on here, and I want it to be a hidden spine, but it's not bad to do a visible spine. It adds interest if you want to. So it would probably be easier to do a regular spine on here where you can see it. I feel like this was a little bit complicated. I had to think about it a little bit when I was working on it and kind of change some things up. And I didn't want to sew through because I just love the cover so much. I wanted that to be the focus, like the design, right? It just has such a vintage kind of like granny core look, especially with the orange and then the ruffles and then the trim. And so that's why I didn't want to go through it. But you can. That's not like you can do anything. You don't have to. And it will still look good even if you go anyway. Okay, let's get back because I feel like I'm kind of going off. So that's what I just wanted to show you guys what I did with this piece. Then this is another piece. This could be like the inside of it. Now again, all these pieces are like, they're fairly large pieces. 12 by, this is about 13.5, almost 14, okay? So this is a fairly large piece. This is what I used for one of the ruffles in here. I just love the way it looks with the pom-poms. I actually hand dyed the pom-poms. But isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, and then I have this piece, and I think this is really pretty too. I just love the colors together. I think they are so great together. I just love the way they look. This is why I actually lay them out like this, because to me it's so inspiring to see everything together, all the different colors and textures and prints. And then I included this on the back because, again, to me, that's really inspiring to see all the colors together. And this is the kit that I've been using. This is Cornelia's Garden. So let's move on. And then here's this piece. Again, this is 12 by, this is like almost 14, 12 by 14. It's a fairly large piece. And then I have this piece, this rusty color, and I love, it's like a cotton linen. I just love it too. It's so pretty. I am so, I didn't realize how much I love fabric until I started working with it for my journals. And I just love the designs. Isn't that so pretty too? Again, the colors look so pretty together. I just love the mix. Okay, so that's what this is. And then you have this. I'm going to put them together again. But for now, I'll just leave them like that because I want to open this up too. So now I have, this again is from Cornelia's Garden. Isn't that so pretty? I just love the way they look together. I think they're just... Okay, so this piece right here is basically this idea. So I have this fabric, and again, it's repurposed and it's a little bit folded up, and I love that look. But basically all you would do is make a little ruffle for the front and for the back, and that's what I did right here. That's how I first sewed on the ruffle, and then I sewed on the trim. Now the trim is not the same. It's just a little bit different. See that? Okay, so I only had enough for one more journal with these. So I have one kit with this. So basically, if you want the kit with this exact trim, let me know, because I will try to I'll try to get you that one. First come, first serve, okay? But I have this one, and I think that this will work just as well, right? That's still pretty. So I have that I wanted to include for the edge. And then I have the felt piece for the spine. I have this pretty. I just love the way this looks. This is so cool. It's just some yarn. And then I have this felt piece. Okay, and then I have a bunch of laces in neutral colors. And technically speaking, you can make multiple journals with these kits. You can probably use them in a lot of different journals, especially if you love these colors. So I got little clips everywhere to kind of hold them down. And you can definitely reuse them. You can definitely reuse the paper clips and even these little pins. Reuse those, because there's a lot of ways you can use them in a journal, including like this. You can pin things to your pages, and I love that. I think it looks so pretty. I mean, you don't have to, but that's what I do. I love to use pins in my journals. You just got to be careful with them. Okay? Okay, so here are the different pieces. Okay, so I have this piece. Again, these are great for ruffles and adding some interest to your pages. Let's see how big this is. So this is almost 12 inches. It's like 11.5 by 11.5. Okay, and then I have this piece. And this is a little bit bigger than 12 inches. And then I have this piece because I love, oops, I missed one, I guess. I love cream colors. That's another tip. If you're not quite sure how to, you love a color, always add some neutrals with it because it'll kind of help it pop. Like, look at these. Look how pretty the orange looks against the neutral. So if you have a favorite color, add a neutral to it. I think that's a really great idea. Like, if you love green, look how pretty it looks with the cream. Or if you love this mustard color, I mean, together they look so pretty. I love those colors together. Okay, so that's why I love to include neutrals, because I love to use them also. And then here's another one. This is really great also. It tears really beautifully. See that? And now you can make ruffles out of this like I did right here. Just make sure you use a really sharp needle because the weave is really tight. And so if you have like thick yarn, oh my gosh, my hands were not happy, but this is great. I just had to change after a while. I was like, why is it so hard to sew through? And I changed my needle and it did a lot better. So that's just another tip. Then I have this one, and I love this one a lot also. I love this botanical print. Isn't that so pretty? Oh my gosh, I love this. If you wanted to, you can also like outline it and sew it. This could be its own journal cover. See that? That is so pretty. I love that one too. And then I have this bit of lace also. And the lace is about 11.5 by 9.5, something like that. So this is really pretty too. Okay, so that's this first kit. So I wanted to include just a lot because I love having options. And I've been collecting these colors for probably 1.5 years now, some of these colors for this collection here. I've been collecting and adding to it, and I was like, okay, I need to make something out of this because it's so pretty. It's really, I feel like it's really a woodland theme, and it's also very vintage looking to me, and I think it also works really well with like a nature theme. Okay, so I only have 3 of these kits available. Okay, so now I have these kits. And these are the Quilted Floral kits. And I have 3 different ones. And I'm going to open each one because they are each just a little bit different, okay? Basically, they should be fairly the same. So each one comes with 2 different kits, right? Okay, so each one comes with these 2 kits. Okay, but I'm going to open this first, then I'll open this one, and then I'm going to show you guys the difference between 1, 2, and 3, okay? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so this is number 1. They each will come with these 3 hand-sewed embroidered ruffles. These are tiny little rosettes. They're like the little French knots. Okay, and then it comes with, again, this is from my Cornelia's Garden collection, and I just love the way everything works together. Okay, so it's tied up with this bit of, this is a repurposed piece, and I just love the way it looks. Okay, so now, this is a quilted piece that basically it's for making your own journal, okay? So I'm going to take it apart and kind of show you guys the idea behind it because you can obviously use this in any way you wish, but this was my idea. So if you guys wanted to make a journal, this is kind of what I came up with. So it has this piece, right? This is the floral piece, and I just love these colors. I think it's so pretty. But what I was thinking was that I had this bit of quilted piece, and I thought, well, wouldn't this be pretty on this edge right here? Because I love that edge, and I love the idea of just hand stitching this together. Like, wouldn't that be pretty? You don't have to use this bit of lace. I just thought that it's a nice transition. So you don't have to use it, or you can if you want to. This could even be a pocket if you wanted to, right? And then I have this applique flower that could be sewed on here if you wanted to. Now, if you sewed it on, I don't know how that would work as a pocket, but I love this look. Isn't that pretty? You can also use this flower as a guide to stitch over it if you wanted to. But if you don't do a lot of stitching, you can also glue this down because it's like a thick material. So that can definitely be glued down on here. So I thought that would be a great idea. So I actually put it together like this for you. So basically you can just sit down and you're ready to go. You can just create your journal right here. Okay, I'm going to tie this back up. And maybe I'll show you guys the other two journals right now so you guys can see the difference between the covers, because that's where the difference is really the covers. Okay, so there's this one, and it's going to be approximately, if you make the journal like this, it's about 10 inches. Well, this piece is 10. You might want to trim that down, but this piece right here is 9.5, this piece. And then it's about, I don't know, between 6. If you just measure the bottom part, you're going to be at about like 6.5 inches, but you have this flap. And see how this curves? I like that. I think that adds a lot of interest and character to a journal by having it curve like that. And then you have the curve up here for this one. I like that. I think it's really cool. Anyway, so that was the idea for this one. And then I have this kit. You know what? I will open this up after I show you guys these kits. So this one is number 1. Okay, Quilted Floral Kit 1. That's what this one is. But I want to show you number 2 also because it's just a little bit different. And maybe it'll help you decide which one you want. Okay, so again, it comes with the 3 different embroidered ruffles. Now this one, I'm going to just pull the tie off. You can also use this to tie up your journal when you're done. Okay, so this one has a smaller piece right here. And again, it would make like it's like 6.5 inches wide. And again, you can actually trim it and kind of figure out what size you want it, right? So it comes with this piece right here. I just like to put it together so I can kind of have a visual of how everything's going to look. This is the quilted piece, right? The floral piece. Now, if you wanted to make a journal, this is what I would do. I would actually use this right here, and then I would add this right here. Just kind of like as a little trim. You can even bring it up and sew it on there. Right, so there's that one, and then I have 2 different flowers. See that? So these were cut out from a piece, and then I would probably glue them down, or you can sew them down right there. So there's this one. This is number 2. Okay, and then I have number 3 right here. Okay, so here's that flower. See that? So there's the flower. There's a bit of lace, and then here's this piece. Here's what that piece looks like, right? Now, if you wanted to see the size of this, this is about 13 inches. The batting is about 13 inches. And then this right here is about 12.5 inches for this piece. Okay, I mean, technically, you can just make a journal out of just this piece right here, trim it down, and there's your journal. You can just do that. See that? But I love that the colors worked together. See that? I think it looked so good. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I would do. And adding to it like this and sewing it together, it just adds a little bit of something extra. And so it just makes it so special, I think. So there's that one. So I have this also. And look at that. So, so fun. I love these. Okay. And I have the sampler. Isn't that so pretty? I love this. I would actually just keep it like that for my journal. But no, you can definitely take it apart and use it. But I just loved it so much. Okay, so I put together these different yarns and I just love them. I'll show you how I used one of these in my journal. Because isn't that just so cool? Oh my gosh. I love it. I just made a tree out of it. Isn't that great? Okay, so, and I just glued it down like that. I love the way it turned out. And then, so that's how I used the dark brown. And then I used another piece right here. I just tied a bow and I glued it down. And isn't that so cute? It's so simple, but so pretty. So definitely, there's definitely a lot of ways to use the yarn. And I love the feel of it too. Okay, then I made this little tag. Actually hand stitched it. And this could be just used in your journal. And then I included some of these. Oops. And then I have this hack. Okay, so it's all tied up with this bow. And then it has this piece. Again, I love this because it has all the colors. It kind of brings all the colors together, right? So I have little pins that I use to secure it. And when you pick these up, I encourage you to lay them out on your desk like this. It's really so inspiring to have them out like this so you can see all the different pieces. I just love doing that when I work, and that's why I actually lay them out like this for you guys also, so that when you see them, it inspires you. And then you can kind of pick your pieces, what you want to use. Okay, so these are all pretty good size pieces. Again, this is like 12. This is 12 by 13. Then this piece is about 9¼ by 12 inches. This is like such a pretty color. It's like a plum color. And this is 12 by 12. I love this floral piece. And oops, we have another paper clip. So that's like 12 by 12. Yep. And then this one, I love this piece too, with all the different colors. Go like that. Again, these are great for making ruffles and for just adding to your journal pages. There's that piece too. And then one of these botanical pieces that I love so much. I love the feel of this fabric. Here's a cream piece. I love this too. And then we have this, it's like a burgundy color. Again, these are all 12 by 12. Then I have the mustard color. This is 12 by 12. I'm not going to open it. And so's this. Well, it's probably a little bit larger than 12 by 12. So let's see. It's folded in half. So this is going to be about 13 by 13, the brown piece. Okay. So if you love sewing or using fabric in your journals, this is a really great collection. Okay, so that's what these kits come with. They're going to have these pieces too. I'm going to wrap these up a little bit later. Just set them here. Okay, so now I have these journal maker kits, and I have fabrics on the back, and then I have the quilted piece on the front. Okay, so this is going to be number 1, and all the kits come with this cute little mushroom card. It's a textile card, and isn't that just so cute? I made that, and then it comes with this piece of this quilted piece, and actually I love the inside as much as the outside. Isn't that just so beautiful? This could actually be hand stitched and filled in if you wanted to. Like, I think that this would be a really pretty quilted cover also. Wouldn't that be really beautiful? Yeah, I love both sides. So basically that's what it comes with. And then this would make approximately, I don't know, 6.5 by about 9.5 inches. And if you wanted to see how it looks with like a regular standard piece of paper folded, that's how it looks. Okay, so it comes with this piece. You know what? I'm going to move these out of the way, but I will show you guys each one because I think they each measure just a little bit different. So I wanted to make sure that you guys saw that. Okay, then it also comes with this piece of lace. And this is tied up with this piece, but then it has this piece. It's like a it's velvety, and it's pretty thick. And I love the texture of that. Okay, so this could be a journal also, a journal cover. And actually it would be really pretty with this on top. Wouldn't that be really pretty? I love that. Okay, so that's what these, basically you have 2 journal covers right here, right? Okay, and then I have the little mushroom tag. Okay, so this is the second part of it. Okay, so this is kit number 1. And then this piece comes with this piece I made. This is just held together with a safety pin. And you can take it apart and use it in your journal. And it basically has different pieces. It's got this piece too, which I love. Okay, and then I have these pieces. Okay, so you have a fairly large piece of lace right here. I love that. And then I have this cream piece. Again, this is about 13 inches by 13 approximately. Okay, so I got that piece. Then I have this piece. And then I have this piece. And then this piece. Okay, so they're all about 12 by 12 inches. Okay, so for number 2, I'm going to measure it. It's going to be approximately like 5.5 inches for this piece. Let's see how it works with the journal. See that? I would actually, you could either trim it down a little bit. You could even, let's see. So basically, if you were to use regular paper, what I would do is I would either trim it down just a little bit, right? Or you could just make a ruffle, right? You can use some of this fabric to make a ruffle on the edge, just so that if it bulks up, it doesn't end up being too short, right? That's what I would do with this one. But I love it. Again, look how pretty it is. Okay, and so basically this is fairly similar to number 1. I think this one was 6.5 and this one was, yeah, it was about 6 inches and this is about 5.5 inches. Okay, so that's what number 2 is. Okay, and then number 3. Okay, this is number 3. And again, it's about 5.5 inches. Again, I would probably just add a ruffle on the side, or you can trim down your pages, but I just wanted to make sure you guys know the sizes. And then number 4, I love the colors. Isn't that just so pretty? Oh my gosh. I love the colors so much. And look how beautifully it looks with Cornelia's garden. Love it. Okay, so this one again is, it's about 9.5 inches and then 5.5 inches wide. Okay, so these kits right here, these are the Woodland Taupe collections. So I have 4 of these. Okay, and now I have one more I wanted to share with you. Actually, I have the paper kits too, but I wanted to show you guys this. This is the sweet little tin. I just love it so much. I enjoyed putting this together so much. And I'm going to take it apart now so you can see what's included. I have these flowers. I got the little pumpkin. And then I have these pieces. It's just a box full of inspiration for creating, basically. Isn't that just so sweet? I love these. I love all these colors. Got one of these little guys in there. I got buttons. And I got little buttons and then the little paper clips in there. I have a little bow. This could be glued down to a page if you wanted, like I did in here. See that? I think it's so, so cute. And then I made this little swatch card. And then I have some leaves in the little, and I have this, it's like a little applique. Isn't that pretty? So the theme is orange, and I just love the way it all looks together. I think it's so cute. I have this little piece with the little cutouts. There's a bunch of little leaves in there, right? Then I have this piece, and I have all these, they're just little gratitude. And then this one. So these are great. Again, they're just inspiration pieces you can use for your journals or for making Happy Mail. I made this little tag. Isn't that so cute? Okay, and then I have this piece here, just more little cutouts for you. I got this little guy. I think it's so cute. I have a little tag here. I have this little guy. Isn't that so cute? He could be like he can be, let's see. He can go on a cover like this if you wanted to. Wouldn't that be so cute? On a journal cover. You could just glue it on if you wanted to. So I included this. It's like a little applique. I got some textile in here. I can't believe how much fits into here. I didn't even realize. Okay, so I have a leaf that has all these pieces. All these pretty ribbons. I got some pretty leaves. I got these pretty pieces of yarn. Again, they could be used in a journal. Some more leaves as decor. I have these pieces that I have. They're already cut out, ready to use. Let's see. Journaling card. This. And then I have this little mini journal that I made. And again, it's got little bits and pieces inside. Okay. So you got a little mini journal. And then I have this. Isn't that so cute? This is actually my inspiration piece. It started with this, and then I started collecting all the pieces. Wouldn't this be cute as a journal? As a journal cover? I think it would be. Okay, and then I have some fabric here. Again, if you wanted to do some slow stitching, I have this felt piece also. This can actually become a little journal if you wanted to. See that? And then I also have this piece. Isn't that just so cute? And then I also have this little, it's like 3 little leather flowers. And I attached a bowl pin so that it could be attached. Like almost like a little charm you can add. So that is everything. Can you believe all this fit into this tin? Oh my goodness. That's a lot of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put these away and then I'm going to move on to the papers. Okay, so next I have these paper kits. And I want to show you guys because I have book pages in here. And so some of the book pages might be a little bit different. So I want to show them to you guys. Like this one. Okay, so this one includes this little guide that I have all these book pages. I'm going to actually list them in my Etsy listing. There's just so many, and I love that they have different, like, look, the family party. Isn't that cute? And then I have this one with the brown writing. Isn't that so cute? It's a recipe book. And then I just love the variation of book pages and, like, the colors, right? So I love that. So that's included. Then I have one of these little tags with the verse. Then I have one of these. It's like a little shaker tag. I actually put these all together about a week ago. I've been working on this whole collection for a while. Okay, this is one of my printables, and I'm including one of them. This is an inspiration piece. Isn't that so cute? There's the page. Then I have this book page with the, let's see, with the poem. And then I have this piece. I love the bit of yellow. Oops. I love the yellow on there. And then this has like a hint of green. And then I have a book page. And then this is, I love how old these pieces are. And again, I used a lot of these in my journals. Got a music sheet. Okay, so that's this page. Let's put them together. Okay, so this is one. This is paper kit 1, okay? In case you are particular about, I mean, I think they're all really cute, But if you're a little bit particular about the pieces you get, this is what I'm going to kind of show you guys. I have this. Isn't that just so cute? This is a printable of mine, and I backed it up to cardstock. Okay, so I made a little journaling card for you. This is again a printable that I printed out, one of my printables. And then I have the book pages, okay? Isn't that so cute? This is what I wanted you guys to see because I have different woodland animals in here. And so I wanted to show you guys what you are getting. Maybe I should turn them like this to keep them in order. Okay, then isn't this cute? I have a bunch of very old vintage images from a magazine. It's like a craft magazine. So I just love these. I think they're really great in a journal. Isn't that cute? And I love the colors. I try to be really, I try to grab a lot of the colors that work really well with this whole collection. Okay, isn't that cute? The owl, huh? So cute. I love that too. I love these vintage images. I think they're so cute. It's going to include one of these type of book pages. It's like a cabin. Some of them will have house plans. And then I have a map page. And again, I'm trying to get some with the orange color. And then I have like a vintage or antique style magazine page. And so this is number 1. And I'll show you the rest of them, or the rest of this kit also. I love these woodland animal ones. I use them in my journals. So cute. Okay, so I have those. And then I have these pages. Let's start with this one. I have a file folder cut up. This could actually be a journal cover if you want. I have these 2 vintage notepad papers in the yellow, and I love the way they look. I have some art paper in a pretty cream color. I have some of this paper, and then I have a just a notepad. Some of these are brighter in the kit. Some are just like this. I have some green paper, and then I have some vintage receipts here, a vintage check, and then I made this little piece too. Okay, so that's what comes with the paper kit. And I'm going to go through and show you guys some of the, I'm not going to show all of them, but I'm going to show you guys some of the ones that have kind of differences. So that if you're a little bit particular about your magazine pages, you know what is included. This is number 2. Okay, this one will be fairly the same. Okay. I'm just going to kind of quickly go through these. These are fairly the same. I want to get to the these parts. Okay. So this is a journaling card that I made and I glued. Okay, now these are the book pages. Isn't that just so cute? Oh my goodness, I love these so much. So here's what's included. I love these so much. And then I have these pieces. I'm going to try to go quickly through them. Okay, oh, this should be like this. Maybe I'll just do this again. I'll go like this. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to do this. I just want to go a little bit faster through them. Isn't that a great image? I love that. Again, I actually went through the magazines and I chose the ones that I think will be great with this series, this collection. Again, you have some of the greens and browns in there, and this will be the same too. So this is number 2. Okay, so this one's number 3. Okay, let's do a really quick. There's the poem one. Here's the little boy, the little book with the mom in the kitchen. That's really cute. And here's the poem. Okay, and then this is the ones that I wanted to show you guys. This is the one I made. And then isn't that so cute? Oh my goodness, I love this one. So this is number 3, right? I think it's number 3. Yeah, number 3. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness, I love these woodland animals. I think they are adorable. And then there's the, isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. Okay, and then I wanted to show you guys these 2. Okay. I love the color. Isn't that pretty too? I love this vintage fashion and just the whole vintage vibe of this magazine. Oops, I missed one. Look at that. It's so cool. The orange and the greens. Okay. Okay, and this is number 4. This is going to be the same. So cute. I love these. So cute. Isn't her outfit just so cute? I love it. Oh my goodness. Oops. Okay, and then of course they come with these pieces also. So it's a nice size pack. I'm going to write down how many pieces are included. It's a pretty big one. I'm actually, I was working on destashing, so I was actually going through a lot of my papers and just adding to these kits. So they are fairly large. Okay, so I have these ones. I have 4 of them. I don't know why I thought I had 5, but it looks like I just have 4 of those, unless I missed one somewhere. Okay, and then I have my hand-dyed papers, and I actually have more here. I actually didn't wrap them all up in these, but I will as soon as I film them, because it's easier to actually just show you guys. Again, I labeled them with a number. So I'm going to have my Dusty Rose collection, which is this right here. And I number them because there's going to be different levels of, like each one is going to be a little bit different, but there's going to be some variations in them. Maybe the Dusty Rose ones are going to be somewhat similar. See that? Okay. There's going to be variation in the way the die took hold. So there's Dusty Rose 1. Here's Dusty Rose 2. And I was also going to mention that some of them will have wrinkled up edges. I like them. I actually don't mind that. I think my grungier ones, like this one, has a little bit of a tear. Again, I like that because I work with it. I actually fold it in, and I think it adds a lot of character to my pages. This is number 4. So this is number 3. This is number 4, and number 4 has... I opened up a tea bag in here. So you have like all this, all the little bits and pieces. And I love that look. Okay, so there's that. And then I also have, so this is going to be Dusty Rose 5 and 6, where I am including, I actually hand dyed a bunch of different papers. Okay, so I want to show you guys what I did. These are going to be exactly the same, except obviously just some variations, but the same type of pieces. Okay, so I have this piece. These are all avocado dyed. Okay, so that's why it's a Dusty Rose. Because I did avocado dyeing on here, and I love this color. I think it's so pretty. And so I have just a bunch of different book pages that I dyed. And here's another one. It actually has staining from, I think that was a paper clip, like rust stains. Okay. Then here is one piece. Again, there is some imperfections, which I actually love for my journals. I just want to make sure I share that so you guys are aware of it. But I actually love to work with those parts. I think it gives it a lot of character. Okay, so this is number 5. Number 6, I'm not going to go through because it is basically the same thing. I can show you guys a little bit. It's the same exact idea. Okay. Okay, so I was going to say that these ones right here, there's 12 pieces, okay? 12 hand-dyed pieces for the Dusty Rose. Okay, so this one has 15 and 15 pieces, okay? And then these are 12 pieces. So this is my Dusty Rose kits. And then I have Mossy Green, and I just have 2 of these, of the Mossy Green. And again, I actually did some experimenting, and I have some different variations going. I just loved working and trying to add like different marks on there. So you will see some variations in the die. So there's that one. And look, this one's a lot more grungier. And so here it is. Okay, so there's 12 pieces. This one stuck together, so I left it like that. See that? It's stuck together. So that could be one, just a thicker piece. Okay, so I have the green. And then I have the coffee grunge, which I have quite a variation of them. And this is why I numbered them, so you guys can kind of see and kind of choose what you want. I also have the pink, so if you want to wait till the end, I'm going to show you the pink one too. The sweet and pink one. Okay, so coffee grunge. Again, they're 12 pieces each. And I hope that you can see the variation. Here's a white piece of paper so that you can kind of see the difference. These papers, I actually dyed them for me to use, but I realized that I am quickly running out of space, so then I decided to make some of my paper packs for you guys. Just make them available for you. Some of them, I left them like this. When they fold over like that, I work with that because I like that in my journal. I like when they fold up a little bit. There's, again, variations in the colors. Let's see if you can see it better with the white on here. And I love also the wrinkles. So this is number 2. That was number 1. This is the coffee grunge. Let's see. I experimented a lot, so I used more than just coffee on these. It almost has like a green tone to it. See that? So this is number 3. This is number 4. Again, look at that. I love it. I love the grunge. I'm actually loving these. I like to work with different things and just let those kind of be my inspiration, like all the grunge or the... See, there's the little fold. I love that, and I love the way it's darker on the edges. See that? So this was number 5. Again, the color is more even on this one. See that? And this is more gray tone than this. This has more of a yellow, almost greenish look. And again, I coffee dye these, but then what I did was I did some experimenting where I brought in other like herbs or other... I'm trying to remember what I did. I might have used maybe onion skins on the ones that are a little bit more yellow, right? And then I might have done some, maybe a little bit of turmeric powder. I just wanted to kind of play around and try some different things. Again, I left it because I love that. I love when they fold up like that. It naturally looks aged, right? When you have those variations. Again, I love that. So these are, you know, more grungy than just an aged look. See that? And I love that, and I hope you guys do too, and I hope you guys love them too. This is really grungy and darker, and it has more of a cool tone to it. Now, some of them are lighter. See that? I love these too. So there's a lot of variations here. Okay, and then here's another one, number 9. This is not as grungy. It has a little bit, but it's almost a little bit more soft. That's a little bit grungy. Okay, so I want to sit and work right now just looking at all these papers. I think they're so pretty. Again, this is a little bit more soft. I love that too, though. See that? I love to work with them. And I don't look for perfection. I think actually having the imperfections adds a lot of character. So that's... This one is going to be named 25 because that's what I have on there. And again, look how dark this is. Oh my gosh, I love these. Isn't that just amazing? I'm like, why didn't I keep this one? I think I have more. I love that. That is so pretty. Okay, so all these are going to be in my shop. That's a lot of paper. A lot of kits. So those are coming to my shop. And then I have this one too. This one's going to be sweet and pink. And this is again, it's more pinkish. I think I used food coloring for this one. And let me show you the pages. Again, there are some little tiny tears on the edges. Or some, you know, what maybe are called imperfections. Like this has a little tear up here too. See that? But I use them like that. So if you guys don't mind that, these will be in my shop. Let's see. Then I was going to mention that this is going to be one of my giveaways. So if you comment in the comment section below, let me know what your favorite color is. And I'd also love to hear what your favorite part of the release is from today. And I will do a drawing and somebody is going to win this and I will ship it out to them. I think that I will keep it to the US just because I'm not sure what is going on with the shipping. So I'm going to keep the giveaway to the US. But you know what? How about this? I will also do another giveaway. I'll do 2 giveaways. One for this and one for printables. Because then with my printables, I will do 3 printables. And those will go to anybody anywhere. Basically can receive the printables. Okay? So if you comment below, you'll be entered in one of my giveaways. And I also wanted to mention that everything in my Etsy shop is on sale currently. All my printables are 50% off. I started my Black Friday sale. And I also have all my previous collection of journal maker kits. Everything is on sale. Okay, so I'm trying to make some room for the new year. So if you want to pick something up, everything is on sale. If you wanted to see the new journals that I'm making, this one still, I need to finish it. I will be creating a flip through of this, and this is actually going to be available for sale soon as I can do a flip through of it. So if you would be interested in this journal, look how thick it is. It's so huge. It's like one of my largest journals. Stay tuned because I will be sharing more soon. I actually did all this hand stitching or embroidery on there and on the spine. Hopefully I'll finish this one and this will also be available. They both are 7 signatures. Oh my gosh, they're so huge. This one doesn't look as big because it's not finished and I didn't fill it up yet. But they're about the same size. They're 7 signatures. So I forgot one more thing I'm going to mention. I also have 2 more mini journals that I'm going to do flip throughs. These are going to be coming to my Etsy shop too. So these will be for sale also. I also have 2 more journals. And these, I use my Timeless collection. And I'm thinking I don't think I could part with this one. I think that this one I want to keep. But I'll do a flip through of both of them. And I think I'm going to be making this one available. If you do want to purchase a journal from me, you will get a better deal through PayPal or Zelle. So if you purchased from me before, I will do a discount for you. Otherwise, Etsy just charges a huge amount. So I'll do a discount if you decide to pay through PayPal or Zelle. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. Bye-bye.